Okay. Let me turn this music down slightly. That's turning it up, not down. Ooh. Okay. Yes, the man is now Slayer Man. God, I remember like I had to cut out like his facial hair and get it to fit in this image. It looks really bad, but it's quite funny. So today I'm going to be doing exactly what it says in the title. I'm going to be creating a fighting game character. So we're going to go from scratch. We're going to pick an archetype. We're going to look for what other fighting game characters are in that archetype. We're going to sketch initial design and come up with some moves for them to use. Maybe a little bit of a backstory. And then do like a fully rendered thing, and eventually it will be made into a video. So I have a window. I may need to get a new window for... I made a wheel, so we're going to randomly pick. There we go. So I have a few archetypes here. Guess I'll do this. Basically, we're going to pick one of these. Now, I do have a few ideas of designs, so I won't be going like completely blind, but we'll see what archetype we end up getting. So, I do want to. I mean, I could just voice over this later if it doesn't sound that good. I do want to record me spinning the wheel just so that I can use it as part of the video. So, turn the music down slightly. Actually, I'll turn the music off for this. Okay. Start recording. Let's spin the wheel. I always say that. I always say, let's spin the wheel and see what we get. But I don't really know what else to say. I'll probably just voice over this. So we have a few different archetypes here. We're going to spin the wheel and we're going to see which archetype we get. And that will be the archetype that we design around for our fighting game character. A charge character. Ooh, 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 ooh. Okay. You can shut up now. We're back to the man. So a charge character. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a window open and we're going to look at some charge characters in fighting games. I know a few already. The most iconic one is Guile. So let's create a new window. Capture. That should be fine. So yeah, the main ones I'm thinking of are like Guile and Leo from Guilty Gear, and May from Guilty Gear is also a charge character. So I also have Clip Studio Paint open, so I will pull that up. And get rid of that. There we go. Joker Persona 5. Joker Persona 5 is a fighting game character technically because he's in, what's its name? Smash. Although I'm more designing a 2D fighter, I think. So yeah. Guile is the most obvious one. Let's get him going. So Guile has, I just typed in Guile. So what Guile does is he has Flash Kick, which is like a reversal, and Sonic Boom, which is a projectile. Let's see if his moveset is here. Is this? Yeah. Does it not have a moveset? Cringe. Let's do Guile moveset. Moveset. So a charge character is quite a wide, like, there's quite a wide range of designs I can do because there's not like a set thing that charge characters are. I mean, this guy's a zoner, but then you get someone like White Fanny. And he's more of a yeah, that's the whole thing. Just waiting for the images to load. There we go. So this one's his projectile, And he also has this move, which is a hold. So it's that kind of thing. So I definitely want this image. Got that move. Yeah, Guile does Sonic Boom, Somersault Kick. Does he have Flash Kick as well? Or is Flash Kick just an older game thing? I haven't really played Street Fighter 6, so I don't really know. Flash Kick. That's the classic. So yeah, they do have a few images here, so we'll pull those up as well. There we go. We also get we can just get May. I guess I'll pull up his scroll too far down. Projectile, there we go. It's a bit big. Oh, I should have. So yeah, I just want to gather a bunch of images with different moves and move sets, and obviously designs as well. And then we can start thinking about how this character design is going to go. Trying to scroll down because I want to get to May. There we go. So May's main move is the Dolphin, Mr. Dolphin, aka Totsugeki. There we go. Totsugeki. These images are too big. I might have to change canvas size. How big do I want to make it? Oops. Tilt it. It's a bit bigger. So that's Dolphin. Cool. Oh, actually, May also has another move. Well, that's fine. That's fine. So I think for charge specifically, I'll probably combine it with another archetype. So I might like spin the wheel and see if we get again and see if we get more of like a zoner. And then they just have this like the stipulation that they're also a charge character. Why does that look so strange? I'm not really sure. Okay. So I want to see if there's charge characters from games that I don't really know about. I guess Reddit's always good. They usually suggest a bunch of different ones. Oh yeah, and Bison is also a charge character. We'll pull up M Bison. Kyle Hair Voros twins hair crossover. I bet like the Voros twins have done that. They usually like tweet it and say like the Street Fightery or something. Wreck It Ralph. Why is Wreck It Ralph the first one that appears? Jesus, that image is humongous. Humongous. It's behind all of the other ones. So this is in r/fighters. So there may be a large range. I'm just trying to see what other. I know Kuon specifically has a charge move because I've played him and he uses a charge move. So he can pick his move out. There might be a dust loop for dust loop is usually quite good. I don't know if dust loop is actually there for Uni 2. That's it, Faust. Dust loop, there we go. I don't know what games dust loop has. It usually has Arxis games, but I don't know if it has this specific Arxis game. I didn't know Persona 4 was an Arxis game, actually. Blue, BlazBlue. Full games list, there we go. BlazBlue, Guilty Gear. Yeah, I think it might just be a... Yeah, because it's not actually made by Arxis, they just published it. And Bison. Okay. I want his reversal. Do we have his moveset? Abilities. No. Right, okay. Whatever. I know that already. I guess she's a charge character as well. There's also Terry Bogard. Terry Bogard's Rising Tackle is a charge move. Rising Tackle. Terry's actually, they just showed off Terry in Street Fighter and he looks pretty cool. And there we go. Rising Tackle. Get rid of that. Best charge characters. There we go. Batista, that's another Under Night character. There you go. I actually didn't play Batista at all when I played that game. I wasn't really interested. Also Balrog. Yeah, there's Leia Whitefang. Parasol from Skullgirls. I've never even seen anything from Skullgirls, but that looks pretty. Oh my goodness, she's like a Jesus Christ on a bicycle. She's got an upside down cross as well. Yeah, I'm not even gonna copy that image. Saber Wolf from Killer Instinct. Also a fighting game. I'm pretty in wood. Oh, hello, error. It's spelled instinct wrong. Instinct. Wood heart eyes emoji. Why is this not loading? Why can't I see the images? technically a mix between a rushdown and a charge character. I feel like, yeah, Leo is also that. Chun-Li, I could pull up Chun-Li as well. I actually didn't know Chun-Li was a charge character either. Okay, so she wasn't in Third Strike and Game by that, okay. Mitsuru Kirijo. I played as her, but not in fighting games. I played her in Persona 3. Charlotta from Granblue. She's like a child, okay. We'll grab her as well. Yeah, I think what I want to do is this take from Smash. Why did they take Guile from Smash? Like, there's so many images of Guile. How about random ones all together? Well, that's kind of what Charge does. They usually combine archetypes. So, yeah, Mei Guilty Gear. I already have her. Why are these images not loading? I don't understand. There we go. We could make a furry character. I will definitely be referring back to this as well. It's not as if this is like... Because I'll need to, you know, look at a bunch of movesets and stuff as well. Okay, cool. So, yeah. What you can kind of tell from this is that there's different, like, types of charge characters. So, Mei is more of like a whiff punish type of character, who does a lot of damage, whereas Guile is more of a zoner plus reversal character. Don't know about her. Ah, she's like a mix-up character, okay. So yes, I will pull up the wheel again. I actually shouldn't have closed the tab. Have the wheel. Just, I think it should keep my... just... There we go. I want to show off my history there. Although most of the history was just stuff. So yeah. There's a few things that don't really work as charged characters, which I'm going to get rid of. Big body charge character might be alright, but we don't need that as well. I'll just have that as like rush down. Stance change. I mean, Leo is a stance change character, so that's cool. Puppet. A puppet charge character might be quite cool, actually. But no. And Pixie, get rid of as well. So basically, we're going to see if our charge character is one of these particular archetypes. So yeah, I want to record this wheel spin as well, just for easier access. I thought I got rid of charge. I need a charge character that's a charge character. Let me just get rid of that. I mean, obviously it wasn't charged, but I just want to make sure we don't get it. Okay, let's try again. We got the same one anyway. An all-rounder. So pretty much what we've got is a character that uses charge inputs and is an all-rounder. I actually am a fan of that because I can definitely kind of just create a rushdown character, or not a rushdown, an all-rounder, and give them a charge move or two. So the thing with charge characters, I think, and the thing with this type of character in general, is that they can basically look like anything. Like, you know, with big bodies, it's like, yeah, it's a big bulky person, like they're gonna be looking kind of similar. But with this kind of thing, we need to kind of go from scratch and design something. But we can come up with a few different things based on the characters here. So there's it's quite funny. You either have like really burly men, or you have like young girls. So it's literally like two complete opposite sides of the spectrum. I think I'm going to go down the burly man route because I think that would be cool. So yeah, something like Leo or something like Guile. It will basically be like someone with a projectile plus like a rising move like that. Because they're an all-rounder, they're usually pretty simple and they have moves that kind of cover a lot of space. So I think I'm going to end up giving them a sword of some kind. So we can kind of go, we have our mood board here, and I want to write down a few things just that I want to give them. So if I just stretch this out a bit, and around the edges I just want to kind of write a few things down about them. So I guess we'll get the text box. So I'm gonna write, oh, the text is not black. Burly men, or young girl. Well, that's good. Burly man or young girl. Because like she looks like a child. She is a child, and she is like 17 or 18 years old, at least based on her appearance. So yeah, I've basically just done this. Get rid of the wheel now. So we want projectile. Why is it? Hold on. Make sure it's actually the right color. Another one. Projectile, and I'm really good at typing. I'm reaching over my tablet to type, so it's a bit weird. So you have projectile is Sonic Boom. An uppercut move. Flash kick. Why not both? Yeah, I can. I don't have to do this. What I'm thinking of more so right now is like like a middle-aged man. Someone who's kind of like who has moves. It would be like Mithra in Smash. I'll do Smash. Where Smashy, where she has like, because she doesn't have a projectile, but she has like, kind of an uppercut move with what's its name? Her up B. Is it here? Ray of Punishment. That's the one. I'm thinking like something like that first hit where you kind of rise up with your sword and you do a charge input to do that, and you could like do a second charge input to throw the projectile or something. So I guess I'll grab this image as well. Someone who uses kind of light-based attacks. Because I was actually thinking, because I've thought of like various fighting game designs before. I've never really drawn any, but like I've been thinking about them, and I'm thinking of someone who like uses light-based attacks, but he's actually like a bad guy, and he could have like some kind of corruption going on where the light's kind of covering it up, a bit like like the angels in Bayonetta. Bayonetta. This is like the first thing I think of, where they're like they look kind of holy, and as you damage them, they a big buff guy who had a toilet around his head. Yeah, that's what I'll design. That absolutely. So what the Angels of Paradiso do is they have these like kind of masks on, and then under the masks they have like like a biblically accurate angel, like the meme. Oh my god, why does it keep coming up with error? This kind of thing where like underneath it's kind of like very normal looking, and then underneath you have like a bunch of eyes and like really creepy kind of stuff. That's my general idea. Is there like a website that has them? I guess I'll pick this one with all the eyes. I've just got yeah, so specifically for like looking at this one where like they have, I mean, you kind of saw the image before. They've got like these masks. They're kind of like baby faces. That one's quite funny. It's a car. And then under those is like, it looks like kind of almost demonic. So is there any images here that have them like, yeah, that has their true form revealed kind of thing. So there's all sorts of inspirations, because I'm always also thinking about like let's get you. Radiance from Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight. Which is like the main antagonist, but it uses like light-based attacks. What is going on with my start page? I picked start page over Google because it was meant to be better, but it's crashing on me. Although, no. I will get to drawing eventually, but this is quite an important process, I think, finding inspiration. I wanted to find specifically like some of the attacks it uses, because there's some attacks that like are quite a cool aesthetic. Oh my god, come on! What is going on? There we go. Someone complaining about not being able to beat the Radiance. Attacks, here we go. Does it have any images of the attacks? That would be useful, that's kind of what I'm after. There we go. So yeah, this like sword attack was kind of what I was thinking. Because it could be kind of like you like swing the sword and then you have swords made of light that like extend the attacks. Okay, I'm gonna make this even bigger. Make it bigger, make it bigger, make it bigger. So I think for this, I don't really know, like, I mean, I'm not a character designer, so I don't know what process people usually do to design characters. This is more like this should be quite a learning experience for me. But I think what I want to do first is I want to design the weapon that he actually uses. So a lot of these characters have swords, and I want to use a sword, but I want it to be more like a royal sword or like a holy sword or something like that. So the first thing, obviously, to do is look up swords. Maybe like anime sword. Because you could do something like this, but I think, you know, if it's a fighting game, you want it to be a bit fancier. Although these are kind of fancy, to be fair. So maybe, I think the word is rapier. I think that's what I'm after. Yeah, something like this. Maybe not with like the hand guard, but like kind of a long thin dealio. Obviously you have to look up anime sword. Got my Crunchyroll links. Damn, these ones are crazy. That one's kind of a light sword. Give them a Dunban katana. Dunban katana. His is like, his changes And so you go through, don't you? Just has an open closet full of katanas. His sword's quite basic, to be fair. It's not like that crazy of a design. It's actually, yeah, pretty damn simple. See, I looked up anime sword and there's not actually any. I'll give them the half scissor from Kill la Kill. So I guess like saber. Something that's quite good as well. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I've been streaming for. 45 minutes. I'll probably spend another 15 minutes or so just gathering images, and then I can start to draw stuff, because I don't really have an idea in my head exactly what I want the character to look like quite yet. So I'm hoping that if I design a sword, then kind of an idea of a character that matches the sword would come into my head. Oh my god, why are these images also bloody huge? I don't want them to be this big. I'm trying to make like a collage with images of similar size. I guess you can't see because I didn't click off. Something like this might be quite cool. I also want to look up like a holy sword, because I want to do like a kind of a twist on the like the holy guy who like uses light-based attacks but is actually a bad guy. It's not exactly like a unique thing. It's something that, oh, that looks quite cool. I don't know, someone designed that. That's pretty cool. These have been like designed by people just for fun. I forgot the music as well. I'll chuck the music back on. There we go. Or like a light sword. I don't know if light sword would. Yeah. Wait, that one looks kind of raw though. Look at that. Not quite what I'm looking for, unfortunately. I think a lot of my inspiration here will probably come from like, oh well, Guilty Gear, because I'm a Guilty Gear player. So like Kai has he has two different swords, or like more than two different swords. I don't know. Why does it keep coming up in error? I don't want an error. So he has this one, and he has this one. Damn. So that's his current sword, which is called, I can't remember, Thunder Seal, that's the name. So he has the Thunder Seal and he has the Magnolia Eclair, which is this one. Which is also the name of his song, so it might not give me exactly what I want. There we go. So if by the end of this stream I can maybe come up with a design for a cool sword, that might be like a good place to finish. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I just want to do like a basic outline of a sword like this. And this. Oh, that's humongous. Jesus Christ. This is very messy. It's just a shitload of images of just M. Bison in the background. So yeah, and I was looking at these as well. It might be quite cool to design one like that. So yeah, if I start out with like a general kind of sword design, I think rather than a curved one, I do want it to be like a straight one. So this is going to be kind of a sketch sheet that has a lot of different sketches on it. And what I might end up doing is like making a folder that just has a bunch of different images in it. So you get to look at my incredibly messy sketches as I press the undo button a bunch of times. Let's just make the lining a bit thicker. I kind of want a thick line just to... generally decide. Okay. So yeah, I think the kind of shape I want is like kind of a circular handle, maybe like that kind of thing. You can kind of maybe a bit thinner than that. That kind of thing. And make the sword slightly longer, it might look a bit better. There may be like some steps of this design process that I do off stream as well. And then I can come back and be like, oh yeah, I have this design. So this design is a little bit like, if we go back to this, a bit like this sword, which is Leo's sword, which he can like shape. He can change the shape of, kind of. I feel like it does look a bit better. Problem right now is like the handle doesn't really match with the blade, I don't think. I feel like if the blade was a bit skinnier, or the handle was a bit skinnier, kinda, so it kind of matches up like there. I'm gonna close this down as well. There we go. Oops. Yeah. I was looking at these. I'm not really sure, but something like this one, maybe, or one of these. So could have like a kind of circular end. Or like a kind of curved handle like that. That might be quite good actually, kind of like a... It almost looks like a pair of wings. So you can do like a... That looks a bit like the Master Sword as well, a little bit. Because the Master Sword has wings on it, doesn't it? Kind of. Kind of wings. And obviously that gemstone type thing in the middle as well. I mean, that'll probably change, but yeah. And what's cool about that as well, you can do like a bit down the middle like that. I will be right back. I just need to use the toilet. Okay. So that's the kind of first general design. I think it should probably end up being like a little bit longer. Like maybe reaching out here. And maybe like slightly thicker as well. Looks very messy now, but that's fine. We have a general shape. A line going down the middle. So what I was thinking for this sword is it can kind of be one that like lights up because it's like light-based attacks, but I don't want it to be like, you know, lights up with like technology. It's more like the person holding the sword infuses it with their energy. So it'll be like it kind of starts here and you can have like a circle or kind of like a thing like that. I'm going to make this pen slightly skinnier. And it'll be like kind of darker here. Darker around here. And you get to this, it's like, again, it lights up here. This whole section can light up. It's like these could even like, so it'll be like I say like a lot, but it looks like these wings when it's kind of lit up. We'll also put this on the other side, and I'll just copy the same. Oh. So what I'm thinking, if I get another like color of pen, you kind of have it so that like the sword as its regular form is kind of just two bits coming out like this. And then all of this here kind of lights up. I guess we'll do like a light yellow color. So all of this like lights up. But it looks like wings. Something like that. We just put that over there. The sword itself can kind of come up to here. And all of the outside part of it is like, I think I do want it to be curved slightly, so you go like straight from here. And then it curves up to here. And then like in the middle here. Maybe like not too thick, but like all of this area in the middle is kind of lit up. but all of the area here is still regular sword. If you get my drift. Do I still have the... No, it's fine. I was just worried that I was showing the wrong page, the wrong thing there for a sec. So something like that, I think, would make for quite a cool looking weapon. Not sure. And so what I was thinking was like a lot of the attacks would kind of be swipes where it's like the sword's here. It kind of swipes like that. And some of it kind of follows like a path of light, but other ones is like it almost leaves like an after image behind of the sword, but it's like a light version of the sword or something. So if I'll just do like a... I'm either gonna open another page or like just do it on this. Guess what I'll do is I'll save this, make a new folder for all of these. I'll open a new one. So if we have like a stage here, let's say like these are the walls of the stage. I'll just use a... And you've got like enemy characters like in the air here. We'll just do a stick man. And then our character's here. He's kind of swinging the sword up. Maybe we'll put him a bit closer. I'll do this on the other layer actually. So enemy character is like red. Ooh. And they're like, oh, I'm against the wall, oh no. And then the other one's like here and he's like, haha, I've got you against the wall, oh yeah. And he's kind of holding the sword like this. Actually, what I'll do is I'll shrink this one way down. If I just move... Move him back a bit. So he's just swung the sword up and it's following like a motion like this. I'll put this on layer one. And so it's like... These ones are like... Yeah, I was thinking like follows that general kind of motion. Or it's like, yeah, up here. So it's like after images of each of the weapons. Obviously, this isn't the finalized design for that, but that's the general plan, I think. Cool. So the next thing I want to do, usually when I design something, I want to have a look for poses. And rather than completely inventing the poses myself, which is something that I do sometimes, instead I just gonna give me 2 secs. There we go. I look for poses on here. So this is a website that has basically a boatload of poses for you to do. I guess I'm making the character male, so I'll do male. There's a lot of poses here. There's different types. So I want something that fits the kind of design I'm going for, which is like sus website. Is it a sus website? It looks fine to me. I mean, I don't know. I literally just looked up like poses and I found this website and it's been fine for me so far, so. Skinless bodies. Yeah, that's the... So you get the musculature. Once it loads. And you can move it around. I mean, as an artist, you generally do use a lot. Like there's a lot of websites that just have images of people with no clothes on, so you can use them as reference. It's a pretty normal thing. So yeah, the general idea for this character is like, it's okay, I was having a giggle. Yeah, someone who thinks he's above everyone else. He's like an egomaniac, like to the highest degree, and so he uses like kind of light-based attacks because he thinks that he's like a holy warrior or like a god or something, and he obviously need a sword, and these are quite cool because they have like some characters holding swords. I don't know if I necessarily want them like in action or kind of more casual. I guess generally fighting game poses are like a mix of both, and I think for the kind of character I'm doing, I'll probably need to do multiple poses. They won't obviously all need to be fully line arted and rendered and stuff, but there will need to be some action images So I do want to get an action image. But it won't be like my main image, it will be one I use later. That's Ike. That is what Ike does. In Smash, that is Ike. So I think these are the main like sword images I have. So what I'm thinking right now is like some kind of pose where, if I go back to this sort of thing, that like where he's like we have like a kind of design like this. Oh, don't want to make the neck too long. So he's kind of like I kind of want this to be on this size, just because I want it to fit into the YouTube thing. Although I suppose if I'm doing this, then I can just like cut it out and do it. That's probably fine. Keep rotating on accident. I think I'm using a hotkey. Did I make this way too big? No, it's fine. So yeah, the kind of thing I'm thinking of is like kind of walking forward, but with like kind of one leg in front of the other, and it's like one hand is like holding the sword, and the other hand is doing something, like maybe the other hand is also like down to the side like that. I don't know. That general kind of thing. So I think what I want to do is do maybe like 2 different action poses, and one like official pose, and then one more like casual pose. And then I'll have like a bunch of sketches of different attacks, kind of like this one, but I'll draw them slightly more detailed, rather than just stick people. I do think stick people is a good way to like start your like posing. I think like some devs do that, and I can find like images online as well. It doesn't just have to be these. I am liking this image over here. Because what I usually do is I'll like take this and then I won't just copy the pose one for one, although I have done that, but I'll like change the positioning of the arms slightly or change the legs slightly. Something like that. That's meant to be like an arrow, I think. That one is an arrow, like a bow and arrow. It's a bow. Another character I was thinking as well is the classic Sephiroth. I'm typing this in completely wrong. Sephiroth. Specifically, he has Octaslash. Yeah. That kind of thing. That one's quite funny. I think I want it to be like kind of elegant and confident is like the two main words I'm thinking of. But like almost like overconfident, like yeah, that kind of thing. So something like this is kind of too like I guess too kind of closed, like I want it to be a bit more open because he's like, I don't need to cover myself. I'm like, you're not going to hit me. I can just look completely casual and there's nothing you can do about it. So rather than doing like a defensive stance, he's more like doing an offensive kind of. He's always on the offense, and in this gameplay, it could be like he's a bit of a glass cannon. You know, he doesn't have much health. Maybe his defense is quite bad, but like he has crazy offense as well. Anyway, I'll come back and look at those a little bit. We can look through some of the other poses. Something like this might be quite good. Just having a stroll. Yes, there are all sorts of poses here, and some of them are very strange. Yeah, just looking through poses. Because coming up with a bunch of poses is like the first step, and then you know you can decide like a clothing design and a general hair and face design. I guess someone with a god complex would be the best like keyword for this character. He has a god complex. Not sure. I need to think a bit. And so, you know what time it is. It's time for the Squirtle Daily. Let's see, what we'll do Gen 5, I guess, to start with. Oh, I used this song in my last YouTube video. So I'm trying to get it to go back to my Squirtle, but it's going on to that one. Oh, that's why, because it's... There we go. Yeah, I played this song. I did a time lapse of my fighting game mains art piece. You got it in 6. Right, Gen 5. We'll start off with a single type, then we can eliminate that. So we'll do Haxorus. I was hoping that it would be like height and weight higher than Haxorus, so it can, you know, do that. So it is a single type. Gen 3 single type. I guess I'll go for one that's more like in the middle weight. And a slightly shorter. Guess I'll go Grovyle. It is Gen 3. It's less weight than 21.6, but it's taller than 0.9. So it's between 1.8 and 0.9. Gen 3 single type. That's taller than Grovyle. But what single type Gen 3 Pokemon are there? There's like Zangoose. No, Zangoose is quite heavy. Seviper. No, quite heavy as well. Vigoroth. I guess these things are much heavier than I initially thought. Who else is in Gen 3? Because I usually default to starters, but starters aren't really single type in Gen 3, so I can't do that. I guessed Bennett last time, and it was quite useful because it's like kind of light for its thing. So it is 1.1 meters tall. So I'm looking for something that's kind of similar height to Bennett. Maybe like Mightyena? No. Poochyena? No, there's no way Poochyena is tall enough. God, single type Gen 3. For some reason I can't. Last time it was Illumise, right? They won't do Illumise again, or Volbeat again. No. So I do still have fire and water as well, and normal. But a lot of the single time normals are quite big. Like nose pass. It's 1.1, isn't it? Yeah. And nose pass is very heavy as well. Maybe like, is Nuzleaf? It is a dark type. Seedot then. There's no way Seedot's 1.5 meters tall. Okay. I guess it's measured not from head to tail. It's like the actual height. Torkoal. Wow, Torkoal's quite small. It's kind of crazy. I'm just kind of going through the gym leaders and thinking, like, what Pokemon do the gym leaders have? Like, Kuhita or Hariyama? The Hariyama's very big, okay. Plus, mine are quite small, aren't they? Yeah. Who's the fifth gym leader? Norman. I've already kind of guessed Norman's things. How big is Milotic? 6.2, okay. How big is Silcoon and Cascoon? Silcoon and Cascoon, quite small. It's weird because, like, there's so many that I can think of, but, like, there's no way they're exactly 1.1 meters tall. You're like Whismur, Loudred Line, Exploud. Skitty, Delcatty. Could be No, it can't be Delcatty because Delcatty's quite a bit heavier than they are. Go in. Swalot? No. $4 billion Spinders. Okay, could be Spinder. Yeah. 4 billion Spinders versus 1 billion Lions. Who wins the 4 billion Spinders? And the 4 billion Spinders also wins this. That was interesting. I managed to guess the height quite quickly, so. I think once again it was like the disparity between like being taller than Grovyle but also being lighter than it was quite good. I guess I was not far off. It's apparently really light. Like 5? I'm not really sure. Back to the man. So yeah, what I think I would like to do is I want to like go through with like this kind of thing. See what he looks like holding the sword. And see if I like that general design. This song's a banger. Oh. I got a bit of back pain. Okay. Okay, what I want to do is go here and maybe like come up with an idea for like hairstyle as well. I think for hairstyle it'd probably be something quite basic, like kind of short. I think the face design I already did is quite good. He's quite like skinny. And then the hair's kind of... I'll do the hair in a different colour. Kind of just like that. Oh. And the ears are like here. I think it'd be better to like kind of like going in like this and then in like this. But I don't want it to look too kind of round, more pointy. Yeah, more out. You have like the shoulder here, arm here. You don't want it to be too... Obviously it's just initially a sketch, but I do want to get the design a little bit, just because it makes it easier for me later. I like to do kind of a... That's the shoulder. Kind of... Have the body here. I usually find it easier to do the main body first and then the arm after. Kind of like this. It doesn't matter that much because it'll probably be covered up by clothing, but yeah, it does make things easier. Another banger song, Elfelt theme. Oh. body. I made it a bit tilted because of the... I do want it to be like a bit of a saunter with a bit of a tilt, but not too much. The head's a bit small, I think. That's better. So having one leg in front of the other is always quite weird to draw, because you have one foot that's kind of closer to the quote-unquote camera than the other one. And the other one's kind of backwards. And obviously if they're both crossing over each other, that can look a bit weird as well. But I will try my best. Let's make the torso a bit wider, because that's kind of how the torso goes. It's like kind of wider here, and then it goes in, and then it goes back out again. And obviously the amount depends on how wide the character's hips are. For this character, I don't think he has particularly wide hips. So we kind of have the foot here. It'd be like kind of shoe on or whatever. Like the shoe a little bit. So then this will be the front foot. And the back foot will be like a little bit thinner. That general kind of thing. But you don't just want it to be a straight line like that. You can see kind of maybe a bit of the foot there. Or here. Oof. I'm pretty happy with that, I think. I made the shoulder too big. Shoulders are always quite weird, because the way shoulders work is like you have the kind of the joint here, and you've got like the muscle on top here, and then you've got the bit underneath. But it looks kind of strange sometimes. It will be kind of covering this a little bit. You've got like here, a little bit smaller, kind of here. And then the other one will be kind of slightly backwards because he's like, it's meant to be like the motion of him walking forwards. So it'll start kind of similar width here. But then as you get here, it gets smaller. I don't really know if my drawing conveys that very well because foreshortening is quite difficult. It may, as I work on it, it'll probably look better. Because the main thing is you want them to be like the same length, but you don't want them to be the same width. But yeah, it can look a bit strange. So now we get to the fun bit, which is the hands, which I'm always amazing at drawing. So it'll be like a fist holding it, so I'll just do that for now. Maybe not that. Kinda... We want the sword to be kind of poking forwards a little bit. Because that's like generally how you hold a sword, is like... The exit of the fist is like here. And then it's like the fist or knuckles on the outside here. That looks really weird. So kind of curve under like this. That's like the thumb. And then the hand reaches out here. Maybe not that far, but reaches out here. That's a bit big. The problem is that I made that too big. Does look a little bit like a glove at the moment. And not like the kind of glove I want. It's like a snow glove or whatever, but I think that generally conveys what I'm trying to put across. It's mainly for myself at the moment, because obviously when I draw it later I will add more detail and stuff. So the sword's kind of being held here. Hands are tough. Usually what I do, which I won't do now because I'm streaming and you won't be able to see any of it, I'll take a picture of my hand. And then I will use that. I've probably taken a picture of my hand doing something similar in the past, to be fair. But generally what I'm trying to do is just have the sword being held. Looks a bit too big still. This is why we use digital instead of traditional, because I don't have to, if I make a mistake, I can just undo it. So yeah, I want to stick the sword in his hand. So what I'll start off with is like just a kind of a stick sword. So I want it to be kind of... I want it to look like it's kind of pointing towards you, so it's kind of like closer here than it is here. But I don't want it to be like right in your face. I always view it as like a camera. I don't know if that's the right word, but you like you have, you know, something that's further forward looks like it's closer to the camera, and something that's further back looks like it's further away. It's called foreshortening. Foreshortening is the main thing that you do to make things look realistic, but it's also probably the most difficult thing to learn when it comes to drawing. I've done sword foreshortening before. I did a drawing of Tokito from Demon Slayer. There is lots of good images online and stuff that I can find. So I may do that off stream. I guess one thing that does help is the fact that the sword is straight. Because what I did before was a curved sword and it was harder. This drawing's quite old, but the sword is like, you know, foreshortened. So this is like, yeah. I think Pinterest is quite good for this kind of thing. Please. Okay, I think I'm by myself a little bit for this. That's fine. That's fine. I can do it. So the best way I learned to do foreshortening is have kind of a, I call it like the spring. So I imagine the hilt of the sword will probably be covered by the hand, or maybe like a little bit of it here. So you kind of have like a, you do like a spring, and the spring gets wider as it gets closer. And so then it's like that kind of thing. But you don't want it to look, obviously, too crazy. I think the best way is like you make it shorter and then kind of thing. But this will be like something I mess around with a little bit, probably off stream. So I'm gonna finish there. I think I have been streaming for pretty much 2 hours. And it doesn't look like there's a lot of progress because you know, I haven't drawn much, but this one is particularly tiring when compared to even just like the drawing ones before, and those were very tiring as well. But you know, I have a bunch of reference images, and I have a sword idea, and I have an attack idea, and I have the beginnings of a pose. This will be like not the official pose. It will be like a kind of a sketch, an action pose, I guess the right word is. And I may come up with a few more poses off stream, and then I can start doing the fun stuff like designing the hair and designing the clothing and stuff. Anyway, I'll have a think about what exactly I want to do, but it should be fun. This is also like probably one of the hardest things I've done when it comes to drawing. It's something I'm completely unfamiliar with. I need to come up with a name as well. The name will probably come much later though. But yes, thank you for coming along as per usual. I appreciate it. I realise I've just been recording this whole thing as well, so I need to cut down that because that will take up a lot of disk space that I don't need. Although keeping a recording is probably quite useful just because I can use those clips without having to re-download the YouTube stream or whatever. Anyway, yeah.